The husband's 3 sisters had lived in the wife's home for 6 years for free, yet now wanted her newly bought apartment too. But they seemed to forget one thing. The new apartment was paid for by the wife, not the husband. So the wife called the movers and ordered them to empty the home completely, leaving not even a single chopstick behind. 3 days earlier, during lunch, the husband's sisters complained that their mother had come to visit, yet the wife made them cook for themselves. But the wife had cooked for them for 6 years. Just one missed meal was enough to expose their entitlement. The wife held back her anger, thinking they would move into the new apartment soon, so there was no need to argue. But the next second, the mother-in-law asked when the whole family could move into their new apartment. Seeing the chance, the sisters excitedly started dividing rooms, as if that new apartment had belonged to them from the beginning. The wife quietly watched them plan everything. To them, the person paying for the apartment had somehow become an outsider. Then the wife turned to her husband, seeking his help, and hoping he would stand on her side. But after hesitating, he actually agreed that the whole family should move in together. But the wife reminded her husband they had agreed to live apart from his sisters. His family instantly accused her of trying to drive them all away. One sister immediately threw her chopsticks against the wall, showing her anger and snapping that the wife had no right to object. Yet the husband did not defend his wife. He only asked her to understand that his sisters were still young. Realizing she would still have to live with his sisters, the wife grew furious and decided not to buy the apartment. Hearing the wife refuse to buy the apartment, his sister immediately called her selfish, accusing her of deliberately keeping them out. The mother-in-law also said caring for his sisters and respecting elders was her duty, insisting the girls had to stay with them. But the wife repeated that the apartment was off. The sisters still claimed it belonged to their brother, saying she lived off him. The husband reminded her the deposit was already paid, so the wife reluctantly agreed only his mother could move in, firmly refusing his sisters. After the wife left, his sisters mocked her for having no right to object, insisting the new apartment belonged only to their brother. That night, after thinking it through, the wife called the property sales office, asking to refund the deposit and cancel the purchase. A moment later, the husband found her, still blaming her for embarrassing him, then insisted they were only discussing it, not deciding anything. She saw through it clearly. They were not discussing with her. They were only dressing up a decision as permission. The husband only said his sisters were young and asked the wife to be more understanding of them. Then memories returned. One sister once opened and stained her bag, but the husband said she was young and asked for understanding. Another sister even brought her boyfriend home without warning, yet the husband still protected her with the same excuse. After understanding everyone else for 6 years, the wife finally realized no one had ever understood her. She lived worse than a maid. So she finally cut through the illusion, declaring that from now on, she only belonged to herself. However, the husband used family guilt to soften her, reducing her sacrifice to just a few extra dishes. But the wife listed everything plainly, from serving lazy sisters to giving pocket money, and questioned what they ever returned. Even then, the husband begged her to endure it for him, claiming his sisters would move out after marriage. But the wife had already decided to move out and let his family live happily together without her. Back inside, his sisters mocked that she could not survive without their brother, still thinking they were spending his money, not the wife's own money. Watching the wife pack her bags, the husband still demanded what she wanted, blaming her for breaking the family apart. But the wife told him clearly that she had married him, not his entire family. But the husband still asked her to be generous and sacrifice more. She finally saw 6 years of compromise had only made them greedier. So the wife said he should sacrifice more, not lean on her, then decided to move out and let his family enjoy their happy reunion. After the wife left, the husband's family blamed her temper, while his younger sisters downplayed 6 rent. 3 years in the wife's home as not demanding a new apartment. They even believed the wife would eventually move into that new apartment because she had nowhere else to go. The mother-in-law also acted wrong, saying the place was too small, so she would leave and return once the new apartment was renovated. Soon after, the wife had already found a rental apartment and planned to move her own furniture and appliances in tomorrow. When the agent asked why she gave up the new apartment, the wife calmly said it was unnecessary and would later buy one she liked. After renting the apartment, the wife finally understood a marriage where her needs were ignored was no longer worth protecting. That night, the husband came home from work, and his sisters immediately asked what to eat, pushing him to cook while none of them would. But after the husband simply boiled noodles and made dinner, they complained it tasted awful, while not one of them was willing to cook. Meanwhile, on the wife's side, her mother had rushed over to check on her in person. Then her mother said she heard everything from the wife's father, became furious, feared her daughter was being mistreated, and quickly bought a ticket. Her mother told her she would cook and handle the housework from now on, so the wife could focus on building her career. Only then did the wife feel what real family meant, love without endless sacrifice or forced obedience. Soon, the husband messaged that the home could not function without her, but the wife had already decided not to return. She told the husband she had canceled the new apartment and would no longer buy it. then sent 6 years of spending records and asked for divorce. Then she told him she had never spent a cent of his money in 6 years and had even given him a car plus over $100,000 in cash. She said he could keep the car and cash, but the apartment he was living in was hers, along with her remaining belongings. Shocked, the husband called the sales office and confirmed the wife had really canceled the apartment the day before. The husband's sisters immediately stirred things up, saying the wife did not respect him as the head of the family at all. Then they pushed their brother not to give in this time, telling him to divorce the wife directly. But when the husband could not reach the wife, his sisters only mocked him for being soft and controlled by divorce. But they arrogantly believed the wife would come back, apologize to them, and beg for their forgiveness. A moment later, the wife really came back. But the wife did not come to apologize. She returned with movers to take back everything that belonged to her. The wife told the movers that every piece of furniture, appliance, and daily item was bought by her, ordering them to leave nothing behind. The husband's younger sisters tried to stop the movers, insisting everything belonged to their brother, while accusing the wife of bullying them. But the wife calmly reminded them the rent was paid by her. Every piece of furniture and appliance was hers, and she had every payment record. The movers kept carrying out the appliances, while the husband's younger sisters cursed the wife as heartless for trying to drive them away. Seeing the movers nearly empty the home, one sister immediately called the husband and urged him to come back. Then the sisters blocked movers from entering their bedroom, but the wife exposed that every item there, including clothes, had been bought by her. The wife questioned them directly, pointing out they had never bought even a single thing for her. Then they stopped movers from taking their cosmetics, but the wife exposed those were bought by her or secretly taken from her. With nothing left to say, the sister threatened to make her brother divorce the wife. Soon the neighbors heard everything, saying no one could endure sisters-in-law living for free, being served, still insulting her, and they were sure divorce was coming soon. When the husband came home, his sisters cried that the wife had emptied everything, left them with nowhere to stay, and bullied them. Then they urged the husband to threaten divorce, make the wife bring everything back, and believed she would give in. The husband believed his sisters were right, thinking the wife would never dare divorce him, and immediately went to threaten her. The wife thanked her mother for helping non-stop after arriving, but her mother said caring for her own daughter was something she gladly did. Then the wife told her mother this place was only temporary, and she planned to look at new apartments later. Her future was finally clear. Knowing it was time to make everything clear, the wife left home, ready to end the confusion once and for all. After meeting the husband, he accused the wife of tearing the family apart, blaming her for canceling the new apartment and emptying the rental. But the wife said she was only taking back what was hers, including everything the husband had always enjoyed as his own. When he complained she had changed, she said the old version of herself died the moment he deceived her. Yet he still called it a small issue, asking her to understand his hardship and step back for his family. Then the husband suggested letting his sisters stay in the rental while they rented another place alone, but the wife said it was too late. The wife told him she was not joking and directly handed him the divorce agreement, but the husband refused to accept it, dismissed her decision as another tantrum, and warned she would regret it. The wife said he had ignored her needs for 6 years and always put his family first, making her question his love. The husband immediately argued that he had worked hard for 6 years, claiming everything was for their family. But the wife asked if a home meant caring for his sisters who were almost her age after work for 6 years, endless chores, and no space, rest, or peace. She warned the husband that if he refused to sign, her lawyer would contact him, and the apartment down payment and rental belongings were hers to handle. The husband finally begged for forgiveness, promising he would stop taking care of his sisters from now on. But the wife refused to forgive him, telling him to keep being a good brother, care for his 3 sisters, and stay out of her life forever. After the husband came home, his sisters only cared whether he got everything back, saying the whole neighborhood knew, and it was embarrassing. The husband bought a few blankets and told them to manage for one night before he bought second-hand furniture tomorrow. But his sisters refused to sleep on the floor, and demanded to move into a new apartment instead. The husband told them to stay there for now, then said if they wanted another place, they could pay for it themselves. When they claimed they had no money, the husband questioned where all the money he had given them over the years had gone. But he heard 3 answers. One sister had just lost her job, one had not worked for 3 years, and one came back asking him for money. Breaking down, he asked if they could at least do some housework since none of them had money. But they said the wife used to do everything, so they could not cook or handle chores. Only then did he realize how they had treated his wife before, and angrily asked if they were helpless children. One sister even called him useless, blaming him for letting his wife control him and making them suffer. Breaking down, the husband admitted he was useless, then told them the wife wanted to divorce him. But his sisters still refused to believe the wife would divorce, mocking that nearly 30, no one else would want her. Then they suspected she wanted to take the apartment money, saying their mother should return and speak for the family. Hearing this, the husband was nearly driven mad and asked his grown sisters to solve problems together, instead of pressuring him. But his sisters ignored that, only complaining they had no dinner, and refused to sleep on the floor, demanding he fix everything, watching his sisters do nothing. The husband finally wondered if he had been wrong, realizing he could no longer take care of everyone. Watching their brother return to his room helplessly, the sisters planned revenge, preparing to cause trouble at the wife workplace and ruin her reputation online. Meanwhile, the wife focused on preparing for a high-paying job opportunity. Then her mother took out the property certificate for this rental apartment, explaining she and the wife father had bought it as a gift for her. Her mother said the place had good light, was close to work, and would keep her daughter from suffering over housing again. The wife finally understood that people who truly loved her only feared giving too little, while others only blamed her for giving too little. The next day, the wife contacted her lawyer to file for divorce. The lawyer said the evidence she provided was strong, and would file the lawsuit immediately. The husband found the wife, claimed he knew he was wrong, and begged her to come home, but she told him to stop harassing her. He finally admitted he should never have let his 3 sisters covet the new apartment that belonged to him and his wife, or stay in the rental for so long. He promised to put their small family first, live alone with her, and cut contact with his relatives. But the wife said everything was already over, while the husband still kept begging and used their 8 years together to soften her heart. The wife looked back on 2 years of dating and 6 years of marriage, asking how many more 8 years he wanted to waste. She said a quick divorce would be the greatest blessing he could give her. But the husband panicked and refused to accept it. The wife told him love has limits, people change, and his love had always been conditional, so she only wanted him to stay away. When he still thought she was joking, she revealed his sisters had already posted about her online, and started attacking her. Then the wife told him to contact her lawyer from now on, because she did not want to see him again. When the husband returned home, several debt collectors had already shown up at the door. The lenders told him his sister had taken online loans and never repaid them, so they had come home to collect the money. Because he was family, they directly demanded that the husband repay the money for her. The younger sister cried that she only bought game skins, but the debt had somehow grown beyond what she could repay. The husband thought game skins could not be that expensive, and offered to pay first, but froze when the debt reached $80,000 instead. With no choice, the husband begged for more time, saying he could pay part of it first, and settle the rest later. After taking what little money they had, the collectors mocked their poverty and warned them not to disappear again. After the debt collectors left, the husband broke down and asked when his sisters would grow up and stop causing trouble for him. But the sister blamed the wife for taking the money away, saying everything would be fine if the husband had helped her repay it. The other sisters also blamed him for failing to control the wife, saying that was why everything had become this bad. The husband blamed them for posting the wife online, then broke down and begged them to stop interfering and causing trouble. Instead, they claimed they were helping him, believing the wife was soft, and would return if they scared her enough. Soon his mother returned and saw the ruined home, immediately blaming the wife for turning the family upside down. The sisters complained to their mother that they could not sleep on the floor, and feared the debt collectors would return. The husband suggested they move out and pay their own rent, then admitted everything beyond daily expenses had gone to them, leaving him penniless. His sisters accused him of forgetting how the family supported him, saying he now had a city life but refused to house them. With no other choice, the husband gave in again, saying he would find a way and would not abandon them. After he left, his mother called him weak, and decided they would go make trouble for the wife themselves. Alone, the husband realized he had lost the only person who truly cared about him, remembering when she spoiled him on his birthday. In that memory, she gave him a new phone, insisted he deserved the best, and promised to cook him a feast. But now regret meant nothing, because the person who once loved him had already been pushed too far away. Meanwhile, the wife was promoted to manager, and her colleagues congratulated her on the promotion and raise. Just as the employees congratulated her, the mother-in-law arrived at the wife workplace with her 3 daughters. One sister barged in, calling the wife ungrateful and demanding that she come out in front of everyone. Seeing the wife, the mother-in-law sat on the floor and shouted for everyone to watch, accusing her of throwing them out onto the street. At the wife workplace, the mother-in-law and her 3 daughters accused her of selling the new apartment, driving them from the rental, and leaving them homeless. The wife warned them to leave and stop causing trouble at the company. But one younger sister demanded money in the apartment, threatening to keep making trouble. Another sister claimed divorcing her brother still meant splitting half the property, accusing her of freeloading. But the wife calmly asked for their proof. The mother-in-law claimed everything the wife owned belonged to her son, then accused her of taking the money and leaving them in an empty rental. They threatened to stay unless she paid, while nearby employees began whispering, unsure which side was really wrong. The wife had planned to leave them some dignity, but their public scene made her decide to expose everything. The wife exposed that the husband had given them all his money while she had taken nothing, and paid for their family life for 6 years. Then one sister pretended to be reasonable, claiming their family had grown up supporting each other and never meant to affect her marriage with their brother. The wife coldly said families like them should stay locked together instead of ruining other people's lives. The mother-in-law immediately held up photos of the emptied rental, shouting that the wife had cleared out the home and thrown out her and the 3 younger sisters. As employees started doubting the wife, one sister threatened her career unless she handed over the money and apartment. The wife refused to keep arguing and asked for security, but the mother-in-law threatened to expose her so-called scandals. Just then, the husband arrived, and the wife questioned whether he had sent his family to the company to humiliate her. After the husband denied it, the mother-in-law scolded him for being weak and insisted security could not interfere in family business. But the wife welcomed a bigger scene, ready to show everyone who was twisting the truth and repaying kindness with betrayal. She took out 6 years of spending records and bank statements, proving she had paid for all 3 younger sisters' food, clothes, and daily expenses. She listed holiday transfers, red envelopes, and luxury cosmetics, exposing every gift they had accepted from her over the years. She even listed the clothes and shoe sizes she had bought for all 3 sisters, then reminded them the meals, rent, and down payment were all hers. Then the wife questioned whether being capable meant she deserved to keep sacrificing and serving them for 6 full years. She continued that she only wanted to buy a new home, yet they all planned to move in and keep using her as a free maid. Once everyone heard the truth, employees realized she had supported an entire family while being treated like a free maid. Even then, one sister still denied everything, accusing the wife of spending her brother's money and resenting their close sibling bond. The employees finally spoke up, asking how grown adults could shamelessly depend on someone else's home and money. The mother-in-law started crying loudly again, while one sister still demanded the apartment and money, pretending to care about dignity. The wife stopped arguing and called the police, reporting that people were causing trouble in the company lobby. The mother-in-law cursed her, but the wife mocked their family pride and said the divorce process had already started. Soon the police arrived, and the mother-in-law immediately pretended she had been beaten in front of everyone at the company. The wife calmly told police to check the cameras, then showed her divorce filing to prove they were no longer family. Then she submitted company surveillance and accused them of disruption, defamation, online abuse, and extortion, with witnesses supporting her. Then the police said they were suspected of breaking the law and ordered them to come along for investigation. Afterward, the wife sent the surveillance footage to her lawyer, ready to make them pay for everything they had done. Meanwhile, the husband and his family left the police station, and he was also fired for missing work without notice. After leaving the police station, his family still blamed the wife for ruining them, then called him weak for letting her drive them out and get them arrested. The husband finally snapped, saying their greed for the new apartment was what pushed the wife into divorce. But the sister blamed his incompetence for everything, so the husband immediately slapped her across the face. After he used violence, the whole family completely turned on each other and started fighting. The husband finally admitted he had spoiled them, making them take his and the wife's kindness for granted, and blamed them for pushing her toward divorce. Even after all this, his mother still wanted the family to stay together, and promised she would find him another wife later. After his mother promised to find him another wife, the husband finally felt helpless, and told her to take his 3 sisters back to the countryside. But the sisters refused, saying they could not find jobs back home, or face people after 6 years in the city. But his own job was gone too, and after he and the wife had supported them for 6 years, he no longer wanted to care for them. The youngest sister chose to return to school, hoping to avoid the mess at home. The second sister chose to return home with their mother, fearing the debt collectors might find her again. But the oldest sister refused to leave, revealing she had secretly saved her brother's money and could rent a place for now. Meanwhile, the wife returned from traveling with her mother, who said her friends envied having a daughter who took her out. The wife felt what she gave back was far less than her parents' love, and promised to take them traveling more often. She finally understood real family gives back 10 times when you offer even one piece of care. Later, the husband kept sending messages, begging her to answer his call one final time. When she finally answered, the husband said he had received the mediation call and begged her not to divorce. He claimed he had sent his mother and sisters back home, promising they could finally live as just the 2 of them. He said the home was filled with her traces, then used their nearly 9 years together to beg her not to divorce. But the wife asked why he could bear it back then when she cried, suffered, and begged him again and again to change. She said he was not unwilling to lose their relationship, but only felt pain now that the knife had finally reached him. Then she told him it was too late. She no longer loved him, and she would never forgive him. The wife said she would live only for herself and her real family now, no longer drained by him, and wished him well if he divorced cleanly. Later, the wife mother told her a delivery had arrived. After opening it, she found the divorce agreement inside. The husband had finally agreed to the divorce. At that moment, the wife felt her life had turned a page, and everything ahead would be clear sky. A few years later at the company, the ex-husband's youngest sister reviewed interview files and noticed one candidate shared her brother's surname and looked similar. After confirming he was her own brother, the ex-husband's youngest sister told the employee he was too old and changed jobs too often, so he was rejected. Later, the ex-wife heard his youngest sister cut ties. His older sisters left for work, and that once inseparable family collapsed from betrayal. As for the ex-wife, she explored passions beyond work, published books, and even saw her story adapted into a drama. Meanwhile, the ex-wife also had a new family and career, and everything in her life finally looked bright and beautiful. After being rejected by the company, the ex-husband had no choice but to deliver food. The story ends here. Thanks for watching.